play a little bit into deck choices.
Okay, yeah. I
Obviously
agree with
not for Mr. Epic Storm. He was 100% locked in on this, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think for some of the other players that maybe not necessarily play Storm, you know, could definitely have factored in their decision.
Yeah, I think although not play absolutely perfectly, but I think Bryant does not really experience as much fatigue with the Storm deck as the average player would. He draws his opener. He's got looks like light on lands, but heavy on action, including possible first turn Cabal Therapy to possibly clear the way.
Let's get a turn 1 kill on camera. Pack it in.
Just get it over with. I don't know. It's an island. Probably see. What first turn play do you think we'll see out of Hans here? What does he want against Storm?
Deathrite Shaman.
Deathrite Shaman?
Deathrite Shaman? No. I don't know. I mean, let's be honest. Probably Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah. Okay.
No, Ponder.
It's Ponder.
Aw.
Hans quickly flashing us the double Force of Will, at least. I only saw the 2 cards in his hand, so he has some sort of disruption in case Brian decides to do anything tricky like
a Delver, a land, and another spell there.
Does he like those? He certainly does.
He's got to double check.
Make sure they're right.
Yep. He has a Daze in hand as well.
For those of you who have not been with us all weekend, the top 8 for both this event and the Vintage event from yesterday will be tomorrow, Sunday. I mean, with the 10 rounds on the first day of Vintage and 11 rounds of Legacy, that's quite a bit to ask at top 8 as well.
And another turn 2 Hymn to Torok from Hans.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a great card, obviously, against the Epic Storm here.
Hits, 2 Cabal Therapies.
Hits double Cabal Therapy.
Okay. I mean, he doesn't. I didn't see any other disruption in Brian's hand, but with a Brainstorm now, who knows what he'll find. So. Kind of thinking through. I see a Dark Ritual staying in his hand. I don't know what he put back.
And we have a Duress.
Duress.
And we're going to see Hans's full hand here.
We might. He does have Force of Will. Nope, no, we will, though.
So we have Double Daze, Force of Will, Abrupt Decay, Delver of Secrets, and is that a
Sylvan Library?
Sylvan Library?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, Abrupt Decay is an interesting choice to keep in after board. He does go for the Force of Will, though. Yeah, it'll be interesting. The Double Daze as disruption. I feel like Brian's deck can produce mana on instant speed situations to possibly play around that as a disruption option.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier to play. I mean, spoiler alert, a lot easier to play around Daze when you get the C and you know it's coming.
Exactly. So we'll probably see the Sylvan Library here, just to try to do that redraw, and then the Delver. Yep. The Bayou was the draw for the turn, so Brian's still working with perfect information.
So Brian now looking like he just needs to potentially play around 2 Dazes here.
It's interesting because with the Dark Ritual in his hand, he's definitely has the option of firing that off and kind of playing around the Dazes almost immediately.
I'm sure Brian has been used to playing around Daze.
I mean, he's used to playing in general with this deck.
Yeah, oh yeah. Another Brainstorm here. Sculpting his hand still. Looks like he's got a lot of business getting ready to go on here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I see a Rite of Flame in his hand. Yeah.
And he's still gonna wait. Still needs to be mindful of the dazes. That was a ponder, another him, and I think another daze that he just saw off the library.
Another him here is so. Oh, that's not going to be good for Bryant, especially. I don't know if he, like, the brainstorm this turn. I mean, he kind of looked like he was trying to go for the win. He saw the window, but just didn't see what he wanted to, and the him's going to kind of punish the fact that he had to do that. Hopefully, he left the most powerful options on the top of his library.
Did he? Here we go with the him again. And Dark Ritual and a ponder.
Okay.
Another pretty good him here.
Yeah. So we'll, yeah, Bryant's kind of been on the back foot this whole match so far.
So, I mean, double him, that's pretty rough against his deck.
Yeah. So it's good. It was interesting, the Delver library interaction where Delver triggers during the upkeep, so you have to look then, and then you get to stack your deck with Sylvan either looking drawing the top 3 and putting 2 back, or paying 4 life per extra card.
And the Tarmogoyf is going to really up the clock here. Brian's going to need. I mean, again, the deck's so explosive. There's just so many draws that Brian can still run into, even after a double him, and still kind of really pull this one out.
Yeah.
And that's one of the advantages you really get playing a deck like this.
Yeah, it almost has like a vintage feel to it, where any individual card can just be that powerful.
Brian still needs to be really mindful of the double days out of Hans's hand, though. There's going to be, I mean, we're going to get to a point here within the next couple turns where, I mean, Brian's just going to have to go for it.
We're checking to see how big that Goyf is.
Yeah, get a Wasteland.
Oof. So, land, instant, sorcery. Something else, I imagine. The Toxic Deluge did come in.
You brought in the Deluge?
Okay.
I mean, and that's not unreasonable, especially if you follow Brian at all. He's a big proponent of having a lot of the Empty the Warrens, especially kind of really relying on as a backup plan. I feel the Delver should have flipped earlier.
I mean, he may have just gone.
He got maybe excited by the him.
Very well could. The him might have been the second one down. Who knows? But it's flipped now, and I feel like Hans is taking this game away.
Is that another him?
At this point, him seems more of a way of getting the opponent to put more card types in the yard to seal us up.
Oh, wow. And Hans's hand is just really, I mean, it's going to be really tough for Brian to pull this one out. I mean, the early double him, it was just kind of really brutal.
So, attacks with both of those guys, I think that puts Brian close to dead. I think at 1 or 2.
And I mean, Brian's just going to have to go for it.
Yeah, he's going to have to find something.
Yeah. He's asking if the Chrome Mox resolves. Looks like he's going to hard cast the days. Or no, just go with the Abrupt Decay there. Yeah,
that's all it is. Yeah, he didn't want to try to fight through all that.
I mean, it's just kind of an embarrassment of riches there for Hans in terms of what he drew. Kind of just, kind of pick your poison almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so a lot of different ways Hans could have played.